leave a lot of room around so that you can expand it, and in a way that's easily reproducible so that you can kind of find the most efficient thing to do and then scale it up. Okay, so turrets are done, which is fabulous. We can now make turrets. Logistics, that's going to be really important. Splitters and underground belt, I think I already described those. And at this point, we probably need more science packs. So I'll make as many as I can. We're still making belt for a little while. That's fine. Except that I don't have any furnaces. Let's do like a dozen. We can at least start it with the ones that we've got. No, I don't actually don't want to touch these yet. Ooh, one thing that we can do is bring power down. And as you'll remember, we've already powered this area. Make this nice and neat if we can. I might not have learned my lesson about spacing mining drills. Yeah, let's leave some space so we can power these things. Because we have the shitty basic power lines that don't reach very far. So let's leave a space, and that's so that we can put our power poles down. So we'll do 6 for now. I can at least reach the bottom one, which is nice. And we'll do something like that. Plenty of copper on hand. I know I have a lot of stone. I'm not even going to go over there. Don't really need too much coal for now. So at some point we're going to need a lot of coal to feed our smelting area, and I'd like to do that separately from this, or kind of, how far away is it? Or like feed it and then come back. And I don't really want to do that because it kind of goes through the forest. So we're going to just set up separate dedicated mining for coal. And this is going to feed a lot of our smelting. Sorry, little drills. There we go. Okay. Oops. Alright. So we're producing coal. You guys are all... I was just thinking, oh, I don't really need to feed these guys for a while. We still haven't built those yet, so let's kind of get our infrastructure going. That'll do for now. Sometimes I tend to get like a little bit overzealous with pre-building certain things, and it's not don't misunderstand it for good planning, because what I end up doing is then I have to wait forever for, oh, I want to use these science packs, or I'd really like to put down these assembly machines. We don't really need this. Is there a way to, there we go, shift click. Okay, so we're gonna make a gun, we're gonna make some ammo. Whoops. That ammo will kind of come pretty quickly. So I don't really need the pistol anymore, but I will keep it on hand as like a tertiary weapon. That's actually plenty of ammo for now. Let's get this other stuff rolling. I don't see why we would need those. Alright, great. Red science. How do you make red science again? Copper plate, iron gear wheels. So I guess this is a good point to teach you guys a bad habit, and then I can show you why it's bad, or maybe you'll just have to trust me, and we can kind of go about how do you avoid doing that. I'm not sure if that's enough logistics. I mean, science. Get our logistics done. It is not. Come on, bottles of red liquid, think for me and figure stuff out. Excellent. So now that that's done, we can build underground belt. We can build fast inserters, which are awesome, but we need to automate it like electronic circuits first for that to be reasonable. We haven't even automated regular inserters. We don't want that. It's a little ambitious. Let's build walls. Stone walls could be really useful. And with that in mind, I actually do have a good bit of belt. I'm gonna pick up this coal and restart these guys. Yeah, because they have more stone to mine. Alright, so let's call this the smelting area. So maybe down here. So it's gonna be, just gonna do 2. We're gonna do 12 to start. I think it's like that. If not, I'll just pick it all up. So, if I recall correctly, I think this will be spaced right. Yeah, that looks good. There's actually a really elegant way to feed these guys, and I think the person who came up with it is JG Games. He's a YouTuber, and I don't even know if I've ever done it this way before, but I really like it, and I want to show you guys. So I'm going to give it a shot. I think I need like 24 of these. I can already make fast inserters, which is awesome. else are we gonna need? We're gonna need more of these. A lot of that stuff. Oh, yes. As many gun turrets as you can muster. And then ammo. Hopefully we won't need the gun turrets before then. Okay, so if you think about it, what did these guys need before? They needed ore and they needed coal to burn. And then they're going to produce iron plate. And once they produce iron plate, we want to put it on this belt and take it away so that they can make more. And so we can take it somewhere where we'll make it. So this line actually doesn't need to be like this because it's full of garbage. What we're going to do is we're going to do something called a hybrid line, where you put two materials on one belt. You might have noticed that these belts all look really symmetrical and they have two like neat little lines of material on them, and they all do that, and belts can do that. They can all hold two materials, excuse me, on each side, or one on each side for a total of two. So this is the format that you use. It's much easier for placing. And I think this layout lends to be upgraded to steel furnaces, but I don't remember. Okay, so let me see if I can remember the way this works, and I probably won't get the distance right on the first go, but I'm going to guess here. So this is a splitter. Before I do anything else, maybe I should show you how a splitter works. So what a splitter will do is anything that you put into one part, it'll split evenly into two lanes, and you just put more belt, and so it comes out like that. It's really cool, really useful. One thing that you should know about splitters is they're lane specific. They won't mix the lanes up. So let's do an example like this. So if we take this iron ore and just dump it onto the top lane, which is what's going to happen here, this is called side loading, where you load this onto just one side of the belt. Look what happens. It just goes on this one lane, and then when the splitter splits it, it's still on that one top lane. So they don't interfere. So if you want to split with split lanes, which sounds kind of maybe redundant, the splitters won't mess it up. And there is a mod called hack splitters, which what they'll do is they'll just perfectly balance all four, like these two lanes and these two lanes, like between all four of them, which is nice, but in some applications it can kind of fuck up what you're trying to do. So if you do use hack splitters, you need to kind of realize when to use hack splitters and when to use regular splitters, depending on whatever application you're working on. So if I remember correctly, for this one, you want to do something like that, and then oops. Okay, here's underground belt. So what underground belt allows you to do is to go underground something else. So we have an opening, like an input and an output, and so now we're going underground this belt without interacting with it at all. So if you have something that's in your way, underground belt is how you want to get around it. At this point I've picked up a shitload of ore. I might as well just keep it for now. So if you haven't really seen underground belt used before, this will look kind of weird because it looks like this is going into this, but it's not. This is going to go under this and not interact with this splitter at all. So I think I'm doing this right. You'll see what the idea is probably either now or as soon as I feed this thing. This is a really cool design. I really like, and I hope I'm giving credit to the right person. I'm pretty sure it's JG Games that came up with this. So like I mentioned before, you've got two inputs. I really don't. This is going to need to be in a different spot. So So yeah, I'll come down here, kind of plug these in both at the same time just so you can kind of get an idea of, don't have all of my, how do I usually set this up? Let's do that, and this. I'll think of a better way to do this later. That's fine for now. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to go under here, just because I've kind of got these coming in a weird way. So now, if I hook these up, what's happening is this one's going under this splitter and feeding back into this splitter. It's side loading on both sides of the belt, or both of these two belts, this side, whereas this one just jumps straight into the splitter and it side loads both of these belts. It might look like the splitters are unnecessary. It's like, why can't you just shift this little seam right here up half? And you just can't. Like, there's no way to put it in between these two. So what has this done? Now we have belts that, this is something that Aruba always like talks about. You have one belt and it goes to one belt because you need one of each of these things to process and it creates one output. And so you've got this 1-to-1 ratio, which he loves. But what else has it done? It's split the distribution of your coal and your iron. So the recipe for these is, well, it's not 1-to-1. The one piece of coal will last you several iron, but because it's side loaded, you're always going to have coal available for the inserters and iron ore or whatever ore you're using. Another thing I should mention is that these inserters can grab from either lane, but when they output, that's lane specific. If I remember correctly, they output to the far lane, so these guys are going to put plate here, and these guys are going to put plate right here. And as long as you load from both sides, you're essentially side loading equally, and so you'll get a balanced belt. As far as saturating the belt so that it looks like this just on high volume output, this is not enough to do it, I don't believe. But we'll cross that bridge later. Where do I want to put this? Maybe here. That seems like an odd place to put it, but we're gonna do it. All right. So now we need to power this whole thing. So I think something like this will work. No. Come on, pick it up. So now everything's powered and you can see that we've got ore loaded in, and as soon as it's done, coal. As soon as it's done loading coal, it's going to throw some ore in, and we're going to start smelting plate, and it's going to pull the plate out. And this little thing is its own little system. It's a smelting column. So we're turning these into this. This is really useful because now we can kind of keep this all together. And once we get our hands on some copper, maybe over there, or maybe actually down here, would take a lot of belting, but could really be worth it. I think maybe I'll go for that one. This is where we're going to put our guns. We're going to put our guns next to this copper. And we're actually going to do that right now. So we're really close to enemy lines. But something like this would be great. So this is a turret. It's like a 2x2 entity, and you can see its range of fire. And instead of fuel, turrets run on ammo clips or magazines. These are probably magazines. It looks like a pretty big gun. Hey, you have bullets right there. Don't lie to me. And they don't need power.